Okay, welcome to Switch Your Sitch with your host, Katie Turner. Super pumped today. Direct from the States is Josh York. So owner, founder, director, probably to start with, driver of Gym Guyz over in the States, the fastest mobile PT growing franchise in the world currently. So excited because my background is personal training and business, and Josh has meshed those two perfectly together. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Josh, to do a quick intro. I did read that it was the rapid rise of Josh York, though I did also read that Gym Guyz was founded in 2008. So it is weird how social media can define a rapid rise of 13 years into one sentence. So hand it over to you, Josh.
Yes, thank you very much, Katie. I appreciate you having me. And we are actually headed over your way before you know it. We have some interest in Australia, so we're very excited to be making our way over there shortly. So I could meet some of my Aussie friends. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people over there, so I'm looking forward to it. Yes,
please. I'd love a coffee or a beer or a vodka soda, which all us PTs drink.
I'm the founder and CEO of Gym Guyz. We are the largest personal training company in the world. I started this in my parents' dining room in 2008, and we started franchising in 2014. Today, we service over 800 cities in the U.S. We operate in Canada. We operate in the United Kingdom. We have 35 locations in the United Kingdom and many locations in Canada. And we pretty much, we bring the workout to you. So we are doing stuff in your home, office, place of worship, park, you name it. We come with our van. It's fully loaded with enough equipment to provide you a fantastic workout 365 days a year, backed by our 3 C's, convenient, customized, and creative workouts. And what do? We change people's lives every single day.
Wow.
Started this bootstrapped in my parents' dining room with $15,000. And, for those who say, it can't be done, you're lying to yourself, because anything could be done. There's always a way to make things work. It's just right here. And you got to train that mind, because, my belief really is business is 80% mindset and the other 20% is all just tactics.
I love that. So I did a podcast recently with a lady who specializes in imposter syndrome. Have you ever had that in your mind where you've thought, I can't do this. What the hell am I doing? Can I go back to my full-time job, which was, I believe, was marketing before you got into personal training?
Never, because I'll tell you something, and I don't want, some people, I can come across sometimes maybe arrogant or cocky, and it's not, it's just confident. And I'll tell you right now, plan B is for losers. If you have a plan B, you're going to fail. It's very simple. You need to go into something 100% and believe in yourself. Of course, you're going to have those voices in your head. Of course, you're going to question and say, is this working? The bottom line is this: you just never quit, no matter what, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how challenging it is, no matter how much money you're in debt. It doesn't matter. You just never quit. That simple.
Wow. So never quit. 2008 is where you began as a personal trainer. And you saw that I read somewhere along the way when I was deep diving and maybe stalking you, that you just basically saw members coming into gyms, but there was no pattern, there was no habit. It was more the fact that there was massive inconsistencies. And so you decided that you were going to break down that barrier and bring the training to them. Is that where you first started with yours?
That is correct. Yes. Really how it happened was I was just in the gym where I was working currently. And one of my clients said, Josh, I wish you can come to my house. I just don't have any equipment. And I kind of said to myself, wow, it's kind of like one of those ideas where it's like, why didn't I think of this? How great would it be if I got everything, right? Put it in a van and just started bringing it to the client's home. And that's literally how it started.
And how important is marketing to you? Like, do you have a budget for that? Did you start out just basically with a van driving it up and down Long Beach Expressway? How did you do that?
I just literally see, I'm a very obsessive person, and anything I do is I'm just obsessed. And I just literally worked every single day. Every single day I worked probably from about 3:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night every single day, even on Saturdays and Sundays. Maybe sometimes on Sundays I'd finish by 7, 8 o'clock. I was marketing at all times. Yeah. You have to create omnipresence, right? You need to be in people's faces, okay? in their faces. And it's not just marketing online. And honestly, at the time, I had no money to market online. Facebook was just starting out. Instagram was non-existent. There was no social media. You had to literally just pay the payment. And I didn't have the money at the time to even compete to run ads online because, talk about having, $800 a month. I didn't even have $8, So for me, it was just getting out there aggressively with the van, which was a moving billboard, handing out flyers, building relationships in the community, and just working my tail off.
Yeah. And I think that's a big lesson for any trainers out there because it's a personalized service, right? And that's one thing that I battled with in the early days. I've been a PT now since 2003. I've delved into different businesses. I still have a fitness business. But one of those things that I always say is fitness or business is never personal. In the early days, I used to take it that client doesn't want to train with you anymore, or it's because of you rather than the financial backing, or they might have lost their job, or they don't need you anymore, or anything like that. Is there any advice that you give people when it is a personalized service?
Yeah. So, when it comes to a personalized service, right? The number one most important thing is being obsessed with the customer. That's the number one most important thing. And everyone always focuses on making money. If you start focusing more on making an impact, the money will come. Like I've always focused on helping people. And when you focus on helping people, things fall in place.
Customer centric, I'm the same. I always say whatever business I'm in the business of people. And I just apply fitness, whether it's business coaching, whether it's in the middle of creating a buckle bandage right now to stop children being burnt in car seats. So whatever, and I think that's a great focus. As you focus, you become obsessed about what I say, the psychoanalytics of a customer. So get psycho about your customer rather than just understand where they live. Now, I learn about your journey through Gary Vee's podcast. And one thing that I resonated with was when you had to pay staff wages and you had a little bit of money in your back pocket, but not enough. Can you let us or divulge into that story for our listeners? Because it was something that I was fascinated about.
Sure. So, going back to believing in yourself, you have to believe in yourself, right? And, I've done some very crazy things over the years that most people would never be able to do. You wouldn't be able to handle it. You gotta be a little twisted upstairs, and you gotta believe in yourself and be able to just have the guts to do things like that. It's like, I go all in no matter what. Like with everything I do, I go all in. And I had to make it
crazy.
Yes, and normal doesn't work, just so you know. So crazy equals normal in my book. Normal just doesn't work. So I had to make payroll on a Monday. I needed about $20,000. I had just a couple $1,000s saved. I had nothing in my bank account. I actually had a negative bank account at the time. And 99.999% of people would have quit right there and said it's not going to work. And, winners never quit. It's just very simple. And I would rather die than quit. I would never, ever tap out, ever, just ever. So just if you didn't understand that, never. So anyway, I'm like, oh my God, I need to make payroll, now I had a little bit saved up in my bank account. I was like, what I'm going to do? I'm going to drive to a casino, and that's in Atlantic City, New Jersey. That's here in the States. And I drove to the casino, and I was standing in front of a roulette table, and obviously red's our color. So I was going to put it on red, and I was pretending like, okay, I'm going to do it now. And I didn't actually do it. And I was like, it hit black. I was like, oh my God, I would have lost everything. All right, I'm going to do it now. And it hit red. I was like, I would have won. I'm going to do it now. And it hit red. And I'm like, I would have won again. And then it hit black. And I was doing this. And I'm like, this is crazy. I can't do this, right? It's too risky. So I said, what can I do, right? Now, as long as you take action, there's always a way. Trust me when I tell you, there's always a way. I decided to give out hundreds of free sessions to all my clients to have them renew all their packages. And I couldn't collect the credit card because the credit card wouldn't hit my bank account in time for payroll on Monday. I literally drove to everyone's house, picked up checks, and made sure I deposited all the money so it was there Monday. And I ended up I only needed 20 grand. I ended up raising $46,000 overnight. So once again, when I tell you anything can be done, anything can be done.
I love that. And so therefore, how much of business is luck, right? People go, oh, you're lucky. My biggest thing was when I opened my first personal training studio, one of the trainers that I actually worked with, and I walked into a bank, I found the location, I rang my mum and I said, I've opened a PT studio. And she's like, that's nice. Just wait for your father to come down and have a look. And the deal was done. And I told one of my friends who was a trainer with me at the gym that I worked with, I'm opening this studio. And he said, that's awesome. And he told one of the other trainers, and they said, it's nice when mummy and daddy buy you a personal training studio, because his head would never get wrapped around the fact that you could actually do it yourself, right? Yep. So how much of luck do you think there is in business?
There's a lot of luck in business. And you know how that happens? You create your own luck. That's how it happens. You need to make yourself be lucky. And it's very simple. And how does that happen? Well, that happens by manifesting. That happens by having a vision, by actually playing that over in your head over and over again. It happens by surrounding yourself with great people. Hire for attitude. You can always train skill. You want to hire for skill and not for attitude, you're going to lose. You need to have good people. You need to surround yourself with good people. And you need to really understand that, everything takes time. I always say you got to be impatient with action and patient with results. Results don't happen overnight. They take time. They take a lot of time. Some people might do it in 2 years. Some might do it in 10 years. Some might do it in 20 years. Some might do it in 30 years. Everyone's journey is different. But if you want to create luck, you focus on yourself. Stop focusing on everything else. Stop watching 1,000 different people on social media, because all that stuff's going to screw with your head. Focus on you.
I love that. Folks, and hard fucking work. Like, I'm sick of seeing all of these posts that come out that, there's a residual income to be made, or, you get into a multi-level marketing scheme, or buy a lottery ticket, or what do you think about this self-care notion as well?
Listen, there's 99% of the stuff out there is fake. And especially when people say, oh, this is so easy to do. Easy to say, not easy to do. Okay. Anyone who's going to achieve real success has to really bust their butt. And it's going to take a minimum of a decade. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to take a while, right? It's going to take a while. And, some people can get lucky in some scenarios, but building a business, being an entrepreneur is a very dirty game to play. And if you want to get your hands dirty, you got to understand that there's going to be a lot involved.
Yeah, and I couldn't say that better, because I saw a post, I think it was by The Rock the other day, and he said, I will outwork anyone. And I love that, because that's what it takes. It takes the determination, it takes the grit. And I see on your post, you're getting up at a similar time, even though the time difference between the States and Sydney here is 4:33 a.m. Don't ask me why, but that's my alarm every freaking morning, even on a Sunday. So, and I'm up writing out emails on a Sunday, and everybody's like, you work too hard, you're crazy. And I'm like, but I fucking love what I do. Like, even if it's on a Sunday, and I want to succeed. I want to be able to make a career or change somebody's life out of what I do.
Yeah, well, you got the goods, you got the passion, right? Not everybody has that. Not everybody wants it. Not everyone understands what it is, but you got to be passionate about what you do. You got to love what you do.
Do you still personal train?
Nah, I haven't trained anyone in like 8 years. It's been about 8 years.
What about yourself?
Oh, yeah, every day I work out every day.
Train every day. And is that part of your habit that you think is part of the success of your mindset?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I get up every day at 3:44 like clockwork. I'm a sniper's best friend, because I am so calculated. It doesn't matter what's going on. See, the thing is, people think I love waking up at that time. I hate waking up at that time. People think I feel great every day. I don't feel great every day. You want to be a real winner? Real winners do things when they don't want to do it. It's that simple, okay? And they do it when they don't want to do it. They do it like they still love it. Even though they don't, you would never believe or never know, because it looks like they love it, okay? And at the end of the day, yes, fitness is my leverage, right? Because at the end of the day, I do a lot of difficult things, like that majority of people would probably end up in the hospital. Between my intense cardio, my workouts, things I do, I go in the sauna 3 times a week at 180 degrees, 30 minutes, no water. At the last 5 minutes, you feel like you're going to die. And I just refuse to tap out. Then I go in my ice bath every day, 30 degrees. I haven't missed a day since I'm 18 years old. I've jumped in there. I've had the flu. I jump in there no matter what, every single day. And you know what? At the end of the day, when you put yourself in very difficult, uncomfortable situations, it makes you stronger, because when you have that Monday morning, when someone walks in your office and doesn't give you 2 weeks notice and quits, you think it's really going to bother you so much? No. Why? Because when you put yourself through pain and you can tolerate pain, you're going to be a lot stronger in every area. And if you put up an entrepreneur like myself, who's in fantastic shape, against some person who's a fat animal who doesn't take care of themselves, who are you going to put your money on?
That's
Me.
right.
Me.
Exactly.
Because tolerating pain gives you leverage on someone else. I
100%.
always do things that make me scared. You know, on my workouts, every single day I work out, I'm scared to do it because I'm so intense with what I do that it actually makes me scared.
Do you think there's a huge lacking of that direct correlation between exercise, mindset? Like I train every single morning, whether I'm teaching or whether I'm running or whatever it is, and it just allows me to deal with the world on a non-personal level.
Yep. 100%.
And what about accountability for one's own health these days? Like we have an amazing public healthcare system here in Sydney, in Australia, right, where it's free. But then we also have a private healthcare system, and it's something that I'm passionate about changing, that my premium is the same as somebody who's sitting on a couch, smoking a packet of cigarettes a day, eating a pizza, drinking Coke, and they charge me exactly the same money for access to that system or to that healthcare. And there's no personal accountability. There's no, you have to change your lifestyle or to get a discount or whatever it might be. What's it like there in the States? Personal accountability for health?
No, it's not. It's similar. It's very similar like that. You know, people, you could be paying the same rates as someone else who doesn't take care of themselves. It's just the same thing. Look, at the end of the day, especially with what's happened here in the world, with COVID, and look, to me, look, I don't care if you get vaccinated. I don't care if you don't get vaccinated. I don't really care. But if you want the real vaccination, if you really want the real vaccine, it's taking care of yourself. Okay. And listen, don't think that I don't love brownies and cookies and ice cream. I do. But 85% of the time I eat clean, and I still enjoy my life because I have balance. And that's what it's about. It's about learning and teaching yourself how to balance your lifestyle. You can't eat food like that every single day because it's just not possible. But if you balance and train yourself, you can still enjoy your life and eat the things you love.
100%. I think that's down pat. And as I say to my clients, there's no better guard against COVID than improving your heart and lung capacity, right? It's a respiratory disease, and we're rolling up our sleeves as fast as we can, yet we're not improving our heart and lung capacity. So it does make me worry. So 10 years, you're saying, in business to get anywhere. That's a fairly long time. When did Gym Guyz, by the way, why is it a Z and not an S? Is that a marketing component? Is that a buying the domain name? How come it came up with a Z instead of an S?
So Gym Guyz is an acronym. Get you motivated. Goals uniquely yours, zero excuses.
Love it. Okay. So it was a well thought out name. It wasn't just, we're thinking about being the Gym Guyz. There's actually an acronym behind it.
Yeah, and it's also like a term, like, if you're going out with your girls, right? You say, what do you guys want to do? It's like kind of like just like a term that most people use. And if you actually Google the word guys, it refers to male and female individuals because it's referring to a group of people, and that's how I came up with it. And it's just branding is everything. And the name is fantastic. It works very, very well. It works well. And the majority of our clients about 80% of our clients are females.
Right. Excellent. I was just going to ask you, have you had any backlash? Like for me, political correctness has gone way too far where we can't, here in Australia, I heard the other day, we can't call them Chinese takeaway containers anymore. It's takeaway containers. So have you had any backlash on the guys component?
No. Sometimes people will say, we'll ask, it's just a good talking point, but no, more in the early days, but not now, we've established a real brand. So.
And so 10 years, when did it take off? Like, when did you go, hey, this is freaking working? Or it's like, I'm actually making money from this now.
Well, I knew after 2 weeks it was working because I literally filled up my van in 2 weeks and it was just crazy. But I started making money pretty early on, but, then I started franchising and literally started a brand new business and had to take all the profits I've made and I've saved over the years to dump into the franchise brand. And, people don't realize what success looks like. People just think it's an overnight thing, and people think you're rolling in the dough. And the fact was, when I started franchising, I was dying because it was very difficult and challenging because I started a brand new business and needed money to fund that business. And I've done this bootstrap and I still own 100% of my company. It's very, very difficult to get this far as we've come to where we are today and own 100% of the company. So, for me, it's always just been do or die, right? It's just like people need to really take a second and think, like, what's the worst thing that's going to really happen to you? Are you going to die? Like, are you going to die if you owe someone some money and you can't pay them back for a couple of weeks? Like, what's going to happen to you? Like, people don't look at it from that perspective, and people think saving money is great. Let me tell you something. If you want to make money, you have to let your money work for you. Sitting in an account is not doing a goddamn thing. And if you want to be successful, you have to take on debt. Debt's a great thing. Debt is wonderful because that's how you grow. You're never going to get, people always say, how do I get to the next level? How do I get to the next level? How do you get to the next level? You have to grab that next level and pull up into that next level. And doing that is you're going to need money because you will never get anywhere without capital.
What do you think people's relationship with money is like? I'm an economist, right? So that's my background, and I love debt. 101. As long as I can make that debt work for me, I'm happy. I'm with it. My husband is the opposite, risk adverse. Debt is like the ultimate death scenario. What do you think people's relationship with money is, and why? Like, is it politically run? Is it through what we're being told in the media?
I just think people are scared, right? Fear, but fear stands for false expectations appearing real. People are scared. They're just scared. And, it's also the way you're taught, right? Like when you're like, I don't know how it is by you, but in the States, like they teach you, like the way you're taught, it's almost like, they're enabling you because they're giving you these beliefs that are not true. And what I've always thought about when I've been in school is I've always said to myself, every teacher I've had who always said you're going to be successful. And, I'm like, this person's teaching me. I used to always say to myself, like, how much money does this person have in their bank account? Like, I'd love to see their bank account because that's like asking me to grow hair. I'm bald, right? You're not going to ask me to grow hair. Just like you're not going to ask an overweight person how to have a six-pack. You're going to ask someone for advice who's actually done something that's legit. Same rules apply. But when you're getting taught like these limiting beliefs of how it's supposed to be, that just positions you the wrong way, right?
Right. And what if they had people like you and I in a freaking classroom? Like I always say, why, rather than being taught by academics, or like you said, I think a lot of people are told, do it because you love it, not because of the money. And it's such a wrong piece of information because money breeds opportunity, right? The more money you have access to, not saved, but access to, the more you can do with it. Whereas, we're always taught at school, you got to do it because you love it. And money is evil and it's the devil.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's very true.
I think it just provides opportunity more than anything else. So where are you at now? How many franchises do you have? And also, I'm just going to ask you, that decision to not go out and get funding, was that because you wanted to keep 100% of the company and direct it to where you want it to go?
Well, we're actually at the point now where we're gonna do that. We're gonna bring in some money now because we with the big infusion of some serious growth capital, it's just going to speed us up and we're going to get there a lot faster. So now we're going to, but initially, yeah, no, I just wanted to own 100%. I wanted to make sure I can control things until we get everything where it was needed, all the systems in place. And that's exactly what we've done. Excellent.
And so still 51% ownership, obviously.
Oh, I would still have control. Yeah. Control. Yeah. I'm only giving up a very 10, 15%. It's a very small percent.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. And what's next? Australia?
Yeah, Australia's on the list. We're working on a deal in the United Arabs, right? UAE. Yeah. Working on something in Saudi Arabia. We have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of international stuff going on. So it's super, super exciting.
And you thought about Australia. Obviously, we're very geographically divided. I mean, that's going to be your biggest hurdle here. Do you think, or is there any other cultural differences that you've thought about when you bring it?
Listen, Australia is just an unbelievable market. Like it's the best market for like that's been number one on my list. The people are amazing. the fitness is very obviously important in Australia, and we're going to do great things there, and I can't wait to come.
Yes, please. And how did you have to pivot in COVID? Like, if you were bringing the van to people over there, I don't know how long your lockdown was. We're entering, I think, day 100 and something odd here in Sydney. So how did you have to pivot your business?
You know, you got to act quickly, right? You can't act from a mindset of being scared. And we just positioned the virtual personal training, and you don't ask, right? We just prescribe. So, we just told our clients this is what we're doing. Everyone's in the same position. You're not going to stop your training. We're doing it virtually. I'll see you next week. That's it. If you ask someone, would it be okay? Katie, would you be interested? Katie, maybe you'd like to? No, because they're just going to say no. I'll wait till this is over. No, you have to be confident when you ask something. And that's what we did. And, we kept the majority of the business and we kept moving.
Excellent. One last question before you run off, Josh. I saw on how you actually prescribe your fitness, and nobody does this here in Sydney currently, is that you actually do an assessment on your client before you train them. How important is that? Like, it's something that I don't see. We've got a few like the F45s and whatnot. You get in the door, you fill out a form, and then they throw you 12 kilo kettlebells to put over the top of your head, and who knows if they're going to have a heart attack. How important is that part of your systems?
It's very, very important because everything is customized for each client. When we're doing classes, because we do lots of classes, the assessment is very different, and we're doing more body weight stuff. So, we're also making sure people who are beginners are in certain sections, and people who are more advanced and are in certain sections of the group. But when it's individualized, it's a very, very important part, right? Because, we pride ourselves in our 3 C's, which are convenient, customized, and creative. So these workouts are customized for that individual, because you're going to have different goals than someone who's a senior or someone who's a teenager. And, you're going to have different goals, just obviously on the side of where you're working out. We might need to be more creative with your workouts. So everything's really based on that. And also we want to understand medical history and your background. So we make sure you're approved to work out, because we don't know what if you have, a heart condition, or what if you have stents. There's so many things that can be, so many variables that can play in. So we want to make sure we're really, really focused on, the customization of it. So we're providing that fantastic service.
And a safe one at that. So I love that you've brought that to your franchise. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Where can our listeners find you on socials? We're going to promote it through our podcast, but take it away, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if you just type in on Google handsome, I come right up. So, no, I'm just joking.
There you go. See, confident in the delivery, right?
If you just,
are you a Leo?
No, I'm a Cancer.
Right.
I'm on Instagram, Josh York GG. You can just Google my name, Josh York, and I'll come up everywhere. Very big on Instagram and also big on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I'm just at Josh York. But yeah, listen, Katie, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
I know you got up early, so thank you for that. And you have a great day, and I really enjoyed this.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you when you're in Sydney.
See you soon.
Thanks, Josh.
Take care. Bye-bye.